Well, over the weekend, Kamala Harris started making speeches in relation to the economy. And then today, Friday, August 16th, she elaborated more. Now, people, everybody knows what this devastating administration has and has not done. And they can shield and lie and try to cover by saying it was in part pandemic. People, that is a easy reach. When Joe Biden became president, one of the first things he did was go straight to Wisconsin and he closed what? That pipeline. Folks making anywhere between $75,000 to $100,000 a year. Where are you going to go in this economy and make that kind of money as a layman or a laywoman? In the name of energy and other things, this world order strategy that they got going on, we're participating in our own doom. And as much as this young lady is trying to bloom and blossom herself and separate herself from Joe Biden, she can't. She's been the key vote in several things, which I mentioned before. And now she's trying to, let's just say, talk a good game. Well, honey, it ain't working. It ain't working. And I mentioned the other day, people got to stop spatting between each other, Christian and Christian, patriots and patriots. But guess what? It's happening in the black community big time as well. And I'm going to get into that. In fact, I'm just going to let it play out. But let me just get into it in general. Trump said, I remember when Trump was on The View. I don't know if you guys remember that show, when Barbara Walters was on it. And when Trump was considering running for president then, he said, we got to start making foreign countries who we give free military coverage, free military manpower, support, whatever you want to say it. We got to start making them pay for it. A lot of folks thought he was crazy, but The View was like, wow, that's unique. Another folks got on the bandwagon. Yeah, why are we giving out free labor through our army? Well, guess what? Trump was ahead of his time then, and that was way back in the day. Then he became president, and the things that he enacted reflected what he was saying as a candidate. We don't need to wait to hear from her to find out where she stands. We've already had 3.5 years. This is why she didn't qualify to be running. Because America is business. And if you stop the engine, do you understand? If you stop the engine from running, you've closed down the country. And so you ain't got nothing to run on, and you don't have a country to run because you've already made things obsolete. You and Joe. And you got the unmitigated gall to run for office? What's the old saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it? Well, I got a new one. It's broke. We don't need your tinkering. We know who you are. We know what you've done. You're the second leg in this nightmare. No matter which way we run, north, south, east, and west. You know, people, it takes anywhere between 1.5 years to maybe 2+ years for policies to really ripple through an economy. We ain't seen nothing yet. Ask any economist, they would tell you it doesn't happen overnight. In small businesses, you get a flow right away. But America is a big company. It's taking time for these gears to slow down. And now she riding along talking about what she gonna do. You gotta undo what you did before you talking about fixing anything. let me digress. Listen to her. Just listen to her. And hold your nose, because it stinks.
And prices are still too high. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. Ground beef is up almost 50%. Many of the big food companies are seeing their highest profits in 2 decades. And while many grocery chains pass along these savings, others still aren't. Look, I know most businesses are creating jobs, contributing to our economy, and playing by the rules. But some are not. And that's just not right. And we need to take action when that is the case.
She's deflecting the blame, people. She's deflecting the blame. Policies make this happen. Businesses react to protect their bottom line. Yeah, some businesses do act like a Scrooge, but the policies put us in this situation. She's trying to play us, baby. Now listen to Gutfeld here. Listen to what he had to say in relation to what she's been talking about the last few days about the economics.
With a monopoly.
Well, first I want to point out something Jessica said, that Trump began as a millionaire and now he's a billionaire. I think that makes him an expert in this. I would rather listen to somebody who began as a millionaire and is now a billionaire than somebody who doesn't have a damn clue about economics. I've never heard a candidate today more unsure of themselves on a topic than Kamala Harris. I think she's been burdened by the weight of expectations put on her by the media. I've never seen a better campaign ad for Trump. She's campaigning better for Trump than Trump is. First, let's talk about the down payment issue on the house. A lot of this stuff is infuriating because they're treating the American public like idiots. She makes a proposal that is only half an equation. The first half is, here's a nice thing for you. The second half is missing, who pays for it? You saw this with student loan theft, described as forgiveness. Who paid for it? You paid for it. You see with immigration policy, who's footing the billions and all that free stuff? You're paying.
You're paying for it. People, I learned a lot in business for 19 years, and I've had several businesses myself, 2 or 3. Let me tell you something. Sometimes businesses, they'll hire friends, family, or they'll try to lowball and get a rookie person just to cut costs and save costs. At some point, you pay for that decision. You pay for it in product loss. You pay for it in production. You pay for it in morale. You pay for it in ineptness. You pay for it on so many levels. Allegedly, when they put Kamala Harris in there, and certainly when they put Joe up in there, because they were not elected, in my humble opinion. We paying for it. And it's a ripple effect. Kamala Harris wants to be something that she was not elected to do. We discern who qualifies, and then we got to deal with that. But we've been given this thing. You understand what I'm saying? When you put somebody in position and they are not qualified, you pay for it. They're improvising. They got on Kimbies and Pampers and everything's screwed up. They can't see the forest for the trees. They don't understand the decision that they make will affect certain things. And the people that put her there don't really care because they're the one engineering the doomsday. Her job is just to set the image and smile like Eddie Murphy and sell it to you. It's deep, y'all. I'm showing you the takeover of a country. Now let's go black for a minute. This is Dr. Umar Johnson, very controversial brother. He letting black folks know, and particularly Carmela, Our vote is not for sale. Check it out.
For sale no more. Black vote ain't for sale. We bartering on business. We standing on business. Bring us some tangibles or get out of my face. Ricky Smiley, I love you. But crying on the radio for Kamala Harris, my brother, that's an all-time low. Don't do that again, Ricky Smiley. Don't you get on your radio show and cry for Kamala. Don't you do that, my brother. If you want to cry for KABAMA Harris, if you want to cry for KABAMA Harris.
KABAMA Harris. Are you getting it? If you want to cry for KABAMA Harris, listen. Some folks get it, allegedly get it.
Radio show and cry for Kamala. Don't you do that, my brother. If you want to cry for KABAMA Harris, if you want to cry for KABAMA Harris, you do that in the privacy of your house. But if we're going to be honest, Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley, and I love you both, no hate to my big brothers, but if we're going to be honest, Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey, y'all only carried on because y'all got paid to carry on. Can we please be honest? Can we see? I want y'all to understand, overstand, and understand what King Kong is talking about. Y'all carried on because y'all got paid to carry on. Kamala Harris and the Democratic plantation is paying you celebrities, paying you to shame black people into voting. Y'all know we're not going to get nothing out of that vote. Y'all know we're not going to get nothing out of that vote. Y'all know we're not going to get nothing out of the vote. But they being paid, y'all being bought. They offered me $10K for an interview with Kamala Harris. I don't want your money, but we could definitely do the interview.
The man said he got offered $10,000 to do the interview. I go toe-to-toe with him in that blacks can get something out of the vote. And so I'm putting words in his mouth. I believe what he's saying is that it's how you come to her. You got to come unified. That's another topic for another day. At some point, we got to have some type of leverage. That's the bottom line. I just want to show you the diversity. Now he talked about Ricky Smiley, and here he is, and Steve Harvey. I want you to listen here.
If you sit at home and you don't support her, you are definitely supporting Donald Trump. You can vote for who you want to, but don't be trying to encourage other people and sit up there and put bad stuff. Where's that same energy for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just like, don't vote for him. It is what it is.
Y'all not even out here doing real research. And look at her record. If you do the research or whatever, stop believing everything you read and do real research, you can see what her record is. You can see what she have done. I think you can Google what have Kamala Harris done for the black community or things that black people benefit from a lot. Idiot fools like.
Now, again, I'm telling y'all, these wedge issues, this is what, look people, economy. If there's anything we gotta talk about, it's the economy. Whatever positive thing that Kamala has done for black people, it's gotta benefit all people. This is why I'm stressing economy. So Ricky Smiley, he's saying the list, but I'm not hearing the list. I'm saying the economy trumps everything because America is business. Without that, the other issues are mute. Put in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. Now here's someone responding to Ricky Smiley here.
Hold up, Ricky. Criticizing this non-black cackling cosplaying chameleon doesn't mean you're voting for Trump. Trump and Kamala are not the only two candidates running. People have the right to make their own decisions. They can vote for Kamala if they want. They can vote for Trump if they want. They can vote for Kennedy if they want. They can vote for Cornel West if they want. They can vote for Jill Stein if they want. I hear some people saying they're voting for the couch. Whatever the case, they can vote for whoever or whatever they want. And this whole shaming tactic that the black boule is so used to using to control us isn't as effective as it used to be. Sure, you can still control a lot of baby boomers, but there are a lot of black people in Generation X, Gen Y, Gen Z, that's not listening to none of y'all. We don't want to hear about how popular somebody is. We want policies.
We want policies. We want policies. Policies that serve in relation to economic growth, not stifleization. That's what I'm talking about. Now here's Steve Harvey.
He literally saying, look, I'm not gonna ask no hard questions.
Now this guy's responding in relation to what Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey didn't want to ask no hard questions. He got a certain perspective when he. In fact, I'll play this first. Steve Harvey was interviewing Kamala Harris. I want to say a few months ago, and then he said, "Well, hey, you know, we got to play it a certain way because if you come." And you serve it up this way, then being black like this, that's not gonna get you in the White House. Listen to this here.
Stay on course, so just let me go off this paper for a minute. Before y'all start calling my radio show and DMing me, talking about why you ain't asked no hard-hitting questions, that ain't what this is. I'm throwing a lob. This is an alley-oop for a dunk. Because this administration needs to get the word out of what they're actually doing and what they're actually accomplishing. So we can stop all this foolishness about what you're doing for black people. Can't nobody come out with no agenda and call it this for black people and expect to get in the White House. You got to play the game different. Y'all know what this is. So now this next question is another lob.
That's wrong, people. Every group comes with their agenda or things they want to get done. But again, we're not on the same page, people, on how to approach this. So this is a person's response to what Steve just did. And rightly so, in my humble opinion.
He is not for us. He literally saying, look, I'm not gonna ask no hard questions because I want her to get into the White House. Are you serious? We should be asking the hardest questions to condition our races in. We should be going hard body karate at these people and saying, look, nah, this is what are we gonna do? All right, this is the conditions in the neighborhood, what are we gonna do? These are the conditions of education, poor schooling, poor health, poor all of the stuff that's going on. Low house, home ownership rates, you know, our businesses are suffering. Anything you can name categorically, we should take it to the foot of the presidential candidate and saying, if you cannot promise us this, we will not get your support. We got to get rid of people like this. We can't support people like, and the crazy part, she's sitting up there laughing. She don't sit up there and say, well, hold on, no. She's laughing like, come on, man. See, this is the thing, man. We don't ever, people just sit back and they don't even advocate because we got people that shoot our.
These people are called the Boule, a secret society group of blacks who in modern day or in old time, they're called the barons. They work directly for the king. And in this modern day, there are blacks as well as other groups. And they are given the key positions, especially in communications and entertainment, whatever. And then they speak or are chosen to speak allegedly for black people. And someone mentioned in one of these videos, it said, we're the only group where we have entertainers, football players, comedians speak for us. And shame on that, because we have world-renowned, talented politicians and economists who have paid the dues, who have done the work. It's not that a communique by a comedian doesn't have value, but that's not your specialty. But the media, this controlled environment around the world has these people allegedly as spokespeople for black people. And this is how we derail. And I've said it before, I've said it again. The majority of our black civil rights leaders were that. They were boule. And people believe that this man is one as well. And so he's not going to ask for too much when it comes down to the masses of black people. He's going to take a role of the baron and serve and play the game. And as some folks would say, allegedly, stretch and fetching, dance. You know, it's cruel, but it's real. It's a reality. So people, what do you stand? Do you see this? What's best for black America is best for all America. This woman doesn't have a clue. Not one clue. I think this gentleman said it best. He broke it down where it's definitely a legitimate argument. We can hear it again. Stop provoking.
With a monopoly.
Well, first I want to point out something Jessica said, that Trump began as a millionaire and now he's a billionaire. I think that makes him an expert in this. I would rather listen to somebody who began as a millionaire and is now a billionaire than somebody who doesn't have a damn clue about economics. I've never heard a candidate today more unsure of themselves on a topic than Kamala Harris. I think she's been burdened by the weight of expectations put on her by the media. I've never seen a better campaign ad for Trump. She's campaigning better for Trump than Trump is. First, let's talk about the down payment issue on the House. A lot of this stuff is infuriating because they're treating the American public like idiots. She makes a proposal that is only half an equation. The first half is, here's a nice thing for you. The second half is missing, who pays for it? You saw this with student loan theft, described as forgiveness. Who paid for it? You paid for it. You see with immigration policy, who's footing the billions and all that free stuff? You're paying for it.
And this is what people like Steve Harvey, oh yeah. This is what people like Rick Smiley, they've got to understand. This immigration issue alone for black people, in relation to economics, you've got to make her accountable. That is your issue because it's in your neighborhood. And just because you got black skin, whether it's Harvey or Smiley, that don't make you sensitive enough to make a move for black people. It just means you got the skin. But you're not fighting for the masses of black people who taking the first strike, because this thing is going to hit in the suburbs next. They're just waiting to get back into power. You trust me. The introduction of immigration was on poor people first. People, I'm telling you, it's not an experiment. They've done this historically with different peoples and different cultures. And they're doing it now. And these boule, these alleged boule, they're helping the climate so that you can vote to your detriment. They're already millionaires. They already got fame. They already got fortune. But these people need to stop this playing. Those of y'all who know me from the past, you know I was in a musical contest back in the day. Steve Harvey used to do the New York Apollo, of which I was in. Yes, I was in the Apollo. They came from Chicago, and I was in the top 10 in the singer contest. I met Steve. I know him. I've told you before, I've been in and out of the industry. When I worked restaurant, I met several comedians. I worked right across the street from my man who had his own show back in the day. He died. Can't think his name right now, but people, I've known a lot of famous people. And there are some blacks that keep it real. And there's some blacks who don't. There's some blacks that keep it real, and there are those who have a soft shoe approach. And that's just the way it is. Because of my age, I've seen the evolution of this thing. I can tell you from experience. Every black face is not in your favor. And every American who talks that good game is not in your favor. You've got to look at what they've done. When you see the damage that she has done, she cannot separate herself from Joe Biden. She can't. All she can do is give you lip service and throw it at someone else, deflecting, saying it was someone else or the pandemic. When you fail to have accountability, whether you do it deliberately or not, that shows that you are ignorant of what your position or what you should be doing. And like I said, when you place somebody in there, and I love the way he put it. Where's my man at? He called her what? He called her Obama Harris. You know, however he called it. Kamala Obama, whatever it is. I love the way he said it. These people are mouthpieces, people. They're mouthpieces. So tell me what you think. A strong black America, a strong America, we got to think economy first. Be careful, listen, be careful during this campaign season, because the powers know if they go and they get people that are in the spotlight and they pay them, you're going to go and support who they recommend. That's part game. God bless.